In episode Revenant Act 2, we return to the Prison of Elders in the new activity, Tomb of Elders. It's not how we last saw it years ago. The prison is now derelict and abandoned, with horrors lurking within its dark tombs. In this video, I'll be breaking down the history of the Prison of Elders and why it's now a crypt. An Elixir onslaught plagued the Sol system. During the Battle of Twilight Gap, the fallen houses would rally together, and awoken scouts would see their communication. At this point in history, the Queens Awoken are hidden in the Reef, their existence known to no one. They learn that the House of Wolves are planning to assist in the battle on Earth, and with no way to warn the city, the Awoken decide to reveal themselves and attack the Wolves on Ceres. Mara Sov, wielding the power of the Harbingers, destroys Ceres and the Kell of Wolves, Viraxis. The House of Wolves becomes fractured, scattering among the Reef. The Prison of Elders is constructed sometime after the scattering. Its purpose is to house the ravenous creatures that desire violence in Sol. Axor, Archon Priest of the House of Wolves, is captured and imprisoned by the Awoken for terror against human settlements beyond the city. Urxis, Wolf Baroness, Paraxis, the Howling, and Skolas the Rabid fight for KELLSHIP over the House of Wolves. The Reef Wars begin with this civil war between the House of Wolves. Skolas' forces lead a devastating attack on Urxis during the Eos clash. The battle is brutal. Both fleets are destroyed, though Urxis is killed. During the war, Skolas attempts to free Drevis and Calix IV from imprisonment on Pallas. Mara Sov has Harbingers at the ready, but is reluctant to use them, as if she does, she will murder her Awoken fleet. Skolas is reluctant to do anything, as he is worried about Mara Sov's use of the Harbingers. This results in a several-year-long stalemate. Weexis, the Meek, a lowly dreg, ends the stalemate by blasting a hole in the prison. He gets himself captured, though he incites a significant battle. Drevis is captured, and Calix IV is destroyed. Many were captured and sent to the Prison of Elders during these raging battles. Aramis in particular was captured and sent to the prison. The Reef Wars reach a climax during the Cybele Uprising. Skolas is desperate and decides to enact a large assault on the Cybele fortress. Varix intercepts these plans and sells him out to Mara Sov. Her Awoken armada intercepts Skolas before he can initiate his attack. Skolas is incarcerated at the Prison of Elders. Varix declares that Mara Sov is now the Kell of the Wolves. This battle ends the Reef Wars. Cabal Commander Valus Traug of the Blind Legion desires an assault on the Reef. When his superiors deny it, he decides to murder his officers and take matters into his own hands. He splinters off, forming the Broken Legion of his most loyal soldiers. Yet he fails at his attempts of invasion, and he and the Broken Legion are incarcerated at the Prison of Elders. Though this is described as a Trojan horse, almost as if Traug wanted to be captured. Guards at the Prison of Elders organize cage fights and bet on them. Aramis gains notoriety, defeating many champions such as a Broken Legion Centurion. Tanix is hired to break Axor, the former Archon of the House of Wolves, out of prison. The Awoken, in search of Calixis Prime, a surviving servitor of the House of Wolves, crosses into the cauldrons of Rhea, uncharted territory, and a domain of the Nine. To pay for her transgressions, Mara Sov sends the Nine Skolas. Yet the Nine betray her trust and release Skolas back into Sol. Skolas desires vengeance and initiates the Wolf Rebellion against the Queen. Free in Sol, Skolas rallies the Wolves and other Elixir. He delivers a speech, declaring himself as the fabled Kell of Kells. In Elixir culture, the Kell of Kells is destined to unite every house under a single banner. Skolas claims he will fulfill this ancient prophecy, becoming the Kell of Kells and the last Dreg of Dregs. Ask the Queen for her throne. Ask them our name. Let them answer, you are Skolas, Kell of Kells. You are fallen no more. With Skolas' return and the beginning of the Wolf Uprising, Mara opens the reef to the Guardians and asks for our help. Varix stays loyal to Mara and the Awoken. This is when the House of Wolves expansion takes place. Skolas wreaks havoc across Seoul as he attempts to rally the other houses under one unified banner. The Guardian stops these advances by assassinating and capturing many fallen. In one case, we kill the 2 barons of the House of Kings to stop Skolas from assimilating them into his new empire. Skolas brings his fleet to the Ishtar Sink on Venus, sending wolf forces to raid the Vault of Glass to weaponize and integrate with Vex technology. Finding that Skolas is altering the prophecy, Mara requests that he be taken in alive. We end their advances in the Vault of Glass, though it doesn't stop Skolas from using Vex technology. We find Skolas at the Vex Citadel, attempting to unite the Fallen across time. We defeat Skolas, bringing him to his knees. He becomes incarcerated within the Prison of Elders. Varix hosts the Prison of Elders event, allowing Guardians to partake in the chaos. Mara orders this for a variety of reasons. Worried about the 9 working against her, she seems that having Guardians in the Reef is ideal in case of emergency and defeating potentially dangerous inmates. She also wants to study the Guardians and how we fight. Varix gets to keep House of Judgment traditions alive, and the Guardian receives loot. We face a variety of factions within the prison. Hive, Vex, Fallen, and Cabal are all present. The Worm Keepers of the Hive desire control over the fractured Hive broods in the prison. They take to the Wretched Knights, promising spoils of light if they act as enforcers. But the Worm Keepers lack resources for a proper summoning and create the vile abomination of Golrot. Wolves in the prison use scraps and trinkets to create Calixus Prime, a reincarnation of their divine servitor. Cabal Centurion Aru-Un is given the title of Val, though it is a title given by fellow Cabal inmates, who are not high-ranking authorities to actually give that out. Other notable inmates are Urox, Quodron, the Gate Lord, and the Wretched Knight. Skolas is defeating during this time, finally put to rest. With his death, the fabled title of Kell of Kells remains a prophecy not truly fulfilled. Cade 6 speaks about the status at the Prison of Elders, and that there's already been a few prison breaks. Oryx, the Taken King, arrives in Seoul with a burning vengeance. The Queen and her forces attack the Hive God, yet are destroyed. Uldren Sov fights in this battle, yet suffers immense damage to his ship, and is thought to be killed. The Dreadnought's powers decimate Mara's armada, and the Queen too is believed to be killed. With Oryx's arrival in Seoul came the introduction of the Taken. Many Taken are captured and sent to the Prison of Elders. Naru-Usk, servant of Oryx, Psylocke the Defiled, and Kexus the Betrayed are all incarcerated at the Prison of Elders. Gaul and the Red Legion seek calamity and invade Seoul for the Traveler's Light. Varix watches as the Red Legion burns the solar system and plunges it into chaos. He can only observe from the Prison of Elders. He is unable to send any messages to the last city as the communication systems have been taken down. It is possible that they are down due to the Blind Legion's activity and why they were described as a Trojan horse in the Prison of Elders, working for Gaul. During the aftermath of the Red War, Cade 6 spends much of his time locking up criminals in the Prison of Elders. Cade 6 and Petrovenge work to lock up the Scorned Barons. Believing Fickrell to be dead, they imprison the remaining Scorned Barons. Throughout these years, Varix has seen constant death and brutality, and has witnessed the deterioration of the House of Judgment and Elixni culture. His house was built on a hierarchy of judgment, but it slowly shattered due to the constant turmoil and unrest caused by the Guardians. Once, Elixni culture was esteemed, carrying various traditions, but now it has boiled down to piracy and thievery. He hears rumors of Fickrell being alive, along with an awoken vagabond, and informs Cade of these rumors. Varix receives a prophetic dream that he has failed his people, the Elixni. He was a failure, and the Elixni culture had been reduced to something unlike how it used to be. Meanwhile, Uldren Sov accuses Ilan of trapping Mara in the Dreaming City. Uldren and Fickrell surrender in the face of awoken authority and are sent to the Prison of Elders. Smuggled in through a hidden passageway, Uldren is forwarded to a cryostasis pod. Varix begins experimenting on Fickrell, learning of his dark ether and whom he calls father, Uldren. Both Fickrell and Uldren plant seeds of doubt in Varix's mind, questioning his loyalties. When Varix thinks of who he is most loyal to, the Kell of Kells comes to mind, whoever may that be, but it is not Mara and the Awoken. Varix has always wanted a way out of the Reef, to reunite the Elixni houses correctly, and learning that he was not loyal to the Awoken, but to the Elixni, he found an outbreak would be the perfect escape. He causes the security systems to malfunction, and every resident in the prison would escape. Chaos ensued. and Varric snuck out through the same secret passageway in which Petra and Cade had smuggled Prince Uldren. Cade 6, Petravenge, and the Guardian would arrive to end the chaos. Cabal, Hive, Fallen, Vex all ran rampant among the prison blocks. Cade 6 would find himself in dire trouble against an army of Scorn all on his lonesome. It was here, the Prison of Elders, that Cade 6 will lose his light and suffer a final death. The Prison of Elders had fallen into chaos, and the Scorn and Uldren escaped. Shortly after, the Drifter sends a fire team to put an end to the High Servitor, the Warden, who was left in charge of the prison. Sharing Varric's voice, the Warden fell into madness after the breakout and pit the remaining prisoners against each other. There are many of these High Servitors among the Prison of Elders, and we'll eventually meet another one. A year later, the Guardians travel to the Prison of Elders to utilize the Ascendant Plane and discover a hidden chest deep within the tunnels. Upon opening it, the Guardians discover the exotic weapon, Truth. The Prison of Elders would be left in ruin, housing only corpses and prisoners who could not find a way out. Fikrul traveled back to the derelict prison in search of the remains of Skolas. Here we find that evil has been stirring within. Lucent Hive has transformed crypts, resurrecting dead hives such as Uroks into Lightbearers. They have decorated tunnels with Lucent architecture and bringing in forces such as Lightblades. The Dread and Taken have revived Psylocke, the Defiled. Pyramid architecture has transformed hallways. Broken Legion Cabal stuck in cryostasis have found their way out to fight, long forgotten in the catacombs. The Prison of Elders is now a melting pot for all the different factions, as they combat each other for territory. Fikrul finds the corpse of Skolas the Rabid and revives him, turning him into a Revenant Scorn. We slay Skolas, who is revived again, imbued with the powers of the Echo. Fikrul and Skolas escape. The once Kell of Kells has now been reduced to a pawn under Fikrul's command, cannon fodder for his plans. We still have no idea what purpose Skolas is serving. The Prison of Elders, once a decorated awoken fortress housing the most vile abominations, has now been transformed into a melting pot of enemy factions. It's been reduced to chaos, a product of betrayal and deceit. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe if you did enjoy this type of video, and I'll see you in the next video.